missed the lesson. So we've got these groups so far, things that are looking similar, and we've created a group, and we're now just trying to work out everything in the columns has the same plus part or the same minus part. The X bits are different in the columns, but the -4, all the things that say just -4 without the X all belong together. Anything with a +2 all belongs together. Anything with no plus or minus number. This is a -3x, not a -3 of a number. These all belong together, and these cards now need to come in together. So in that space where the blue box is, we're looking for something which has just an X and has no number. Well, it's that card. Next, scroll down. We're looking for something which has a 3 in the X place, but no number part. So that's my 3X one. This one, things without a number on the end, but this one has -2. And at the bottom we've got the -x on its own. Okay, so that's where we've got our equation. All these equations are in groups. There's reasons they group together like this. And what I'm going to ask you to do is, rather than just doing groups, random equations and drawing them, I'm going to ask you to select out of those groups to draw the graphs. So when we come to draw the graphs, either select a group going across or a group going down. If you're doing a group across, I expect to see 2 or 3 goes at them. Okay, I will be giving you some graphs tomorrow which will match to these, so you've got the full set and you can match the graphs up. But we need to actually create some graphs for yourselves today, and that's what this second part is about. So we're going to use some of our equations here, and I'm going to choose some of these little more complicated ones. I'm going to do probably 2 from this end on the right hand side. Okay, you might start seeing there's something happens with this. Different things will happen if you're looking across to if you're looking down. So depending on how you've grouped them, your graphs will be drawn onto one set of axes, but I don't want you drawing them in many ways so that they are going to cause you problems to look at. So I'll just go and get a table together, and I'm going to copy the table from the worksheet. Okay, so let's copy the table from the sheet, that one, and I'm going to do a few equations from one group. And this is what I would like to see being done into your equations. So I'm going to do 2 of these as examples and show you what you can do to make them work. Now this part you will have to do in your exercise books. So you need some paper or some exercise books to do the equations. I'm going to choose to do...
Mr. Booker?
Yep.
Actually, I forgot all of my books, like school books, in my other house in Dubai.
Have you got any notebooks at all?
No books at all. I told my
Okay.
teacher.
You'll have to try working in a Word document or something then. It's not the best way because it gets in the way of trying to do the maths. You spend time trying to work out what's happening. All right. Yes, you'll have to use GeoGebra for your graphing as well then, Sabia. Okay, so what we need to do is, first of all, with each of these, make sure you put down what equation you're doing. So the equation for this first one, I'm going to do the -2x plus 2. So y equals -2x and add 2 to it. So my calculation, remember to do the calculations for these equations, we're going to replace the x with the number that's here. So we're going to copy the sum so far. replace the x with the value, and there's a sign missing. What sign is always missing between a number and an x? The equals is already there. We've got an equals, okay, I can say equals and put it into y, but this isn't minus 20. What does this actually mean I've got to do? If I say 2 chairs, I've got 2 lots of everything that makes a chair. If a chair has 4 legs, that means I've got 2 chairs of 4 legs, that's 2 lots of 4, that's 8 legs. What sum have I just done? What's the sign that's missing between the minus 2 and the 0? Always multiply. The gap between here is a multiply. If there's nothing in front, then you've just got the number. But we need to remember there's a multiply. So minus 2 times 0, anything times 0 is 0. Plus 2 gives me an answer 2. Do the next one. Copy out the form of the equation. Remember there's a multiply between that and the x, and put your value in for x. So minus 2 times 1 is minus 2. Add 2. Minus 2 plus 2. Might need a calculator or a number line. If you want to use calculators, you can today. So if I start at minus 2 and go forwards 2 spaces, I get to 0. Alright, so that's a 0. I'll do that one in purple as well. Next line down. Copy the form of the equation. Replace the x with the value we've typed in. Yep.
I don't understand the first part.
What the black stuff is, I'm just copying out of the equation. Minus 2. Replace x with 0, because we said x is 0 in that line. And add 2 to it. So minus 2 times 0, always do multiplications first. Minus 2 times 0, anything times 0 is nothing. Plus 2 gives me 2. Or use your calculator to bring it up. I'll pull up a calculator and show you on there. Where's my calculator gone?
Where can I do the graph?
I'll show you about the graph in a moment. Can I get the set of tables up first? Just have a table so we can do the graphing. Next part then is minus 2 times and add. Replace the x with the value of 4. So minus 2 times, oh, I didn't finish the first one off. Minus 2 times 2 is minus 4. Add 2 to it. And that gives me an answer minus 2. Minus 2 times 4 is minus 8. And add 2 to it. Minus 8 plus 2 is minus 6. Notice there is a change in the numbers I'm using here. Notice I didn't do 3 in here. You don't always have to do every single number, but 3 I would always do are those. So if I was being asked to just draw a graph, I would always do 0, 1 and 2. They're the easy start ones. And then other values to spread out what happens on my line. Last line, I'm going to do minus 2 times and add 2, form of the equation. Replace x with the number minus 2. Now a minus times a minus is a plus. 2 times 2 is 4. And add 2 gives me 4 plus 2, 6. I get a positive 6 on the right hand side. Oh, wrong one. So I get a positive 6. Okay. So that's my equation that I've created. To be able to draw the graphs and plot them, this is what I was suggesting you practiced with yesterday, is if you go to geogebra.org and then /graphing, so I'll put that link into the lesson. Where's our plan? Where's our lesson plan? So I'm just going to put this onto, it's going into the chat right now, so you can pull up a graphing one to work with me. And I'm also putting it in the instructions as a link. Add link. And what you can pull up from that is a GeoGebra graph that you can then draw these on the same. Now what I'm saying is for each set, only use one set of graphs. Now these numbers, it's best if you can get them out a bit to be sort of -8 to 8. So we can draw our lines. In GeoGebra, I'm going to select a point and put the first point at x is 0, y is 2. X is 0, y is 2. So there's my first point. Second one is at the point x is 1, y is 0. X is 1 is actually in the middle here. Y is 0. So 1 is halfway between 0 and 2. X is 2, y is -2. Plot the point. X is 4, y is -6. X is -2, so -2 here. Y is +6. And what I can now put in is a line that goes through E and D and all my other points. So you can draw a neat graph using GeoGebra to create that one. On the same graph though, I would like you to do another one from that sort of set. So I'm going to do the 3x plus 2. I'm just going to rack the numbers in for you. I'm not going through the process slowly. Y equals 3x plus 2. So all of these are 3 times plus 2, 3 times plus 2. And I'm just going to rack in the numbers for you. Put 0 in instead of 3, instead of x. Put 1 in instead of x. And if you actually do this table slowly, you get 3 times 0 plus 2 is 2. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. Next one's going to be 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. Put 4 in. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. And 3 times -2 is -6, plus 2 is -4. And I want this on the same graph. If they've come from the same group, put them on the same graph. Okay, so some of you will get something similar to what I'm doing now. Some of you will get things where the lines will not, we're going to get something where lines will cross. On another one, you will not get the lines crossing. So plot the points is 0 and 2, that's already in for me. 1 and 5, 1 and 5 is here. Sorry, I'm trying to draw the line at the same time now. So go back to a point. 1 and 5. 2 and 8. 4 and 14. I can move on GeoGebra sometimes. Where's the axis? How do I get it to move? Oh, there. So if I go to move, I'm now moving the axes around. So I can get 4 and 14. And my last point was -2 and -4. Do the same thing, select a line. Notice we want the line so that we get the line continuing forever. And there's my graphs. Okay, I've got my two graphs on. Ideally, you should actually put in a piece of text to say what line this was. Come on, give me the text for that. Give me the text. I want to put it on. And what you're going to say is that first line was y equals minus 2x plus 2. If you want to make it look fancy, press LaTeX formula and it will draw it nicely. I can also put text on the other one. And that one was y equals 3x plus 2. And if I say LaTeX formula, it will print it nicely for me. That's then my graph, and I need to copy and paste that. So I could select, can I do a copy the image? It's Alt Print Screen or Win Shift 4 on MacBook. Copy those so that the screen can go into your slides. So at the end of the lesson, any evidence should be pasted into that last slide on your worksheet. Oh, it's not there. Oh, it's because it's in the wrong clipboard. There we go. Let's try again. There you go. And there's my graphs. All right, that's what I'd like you to do, please. You've got about 15-20 minutes. Try and draw 3 graphs quickly.